Hi there. Welcome to day 2 of Renovation Roadmap Live. So Renovation Roadmap Live is a training of strategy for how you can achieve success with your project. I teach you the way that all construction projects go, the 4 stages that every construction project goes through, whether that's a nuclear power plant, an airport, a new school, a hospital, or a single-story house extension. These are the steps that you need to take to make your project a success. And there are decisions at each stage that you can make in line with your priorities. And this is part of a live event. So this week I'm going live daily with a Q&A and answering questions. And if you would like to join in, it's not too late. You can join Renovation Roadmap Live. You can get the training, you can get the workbook, you can plan out your project within an hour and get all the most important foundational decisions made so that you can create the success for your project too. And you can then submit your questions throughout the rest of this week for them to be answered during this live session. So today I'm answering a question from Joanna, and she's asked, she said, hello, we're in the early stages of planning a double-story extension, which we're going to be remortgaging to pay for. Would you get an architect's plans first and then get your house revalued based on those plans, or vice versa, before then going to a builder for your quotes? So this is all about pricing and figuring out costs. And yeah, this is a big hot topic right now because, you know, for the last couple of years, prices have just been skyrocketing with Brexit, with COVID, with the war, with all the things going on in the world. Prices of construction are getting higher and higher and higher, and it's harder to find builders, and it's harder to get quotes from builders because they're booked up and they don't want to give you a quote for 12 months or 18 months in the future when they may be free to start work on your project, because prices may have gone up by then, and so they want to give you a fixed price for that. So that's a little thing to overcome, which is tricky. So what I recommend in terms of figuring out your budget, figuring out your design, and then getting prices from builders is, first of all, find out what you can comfortably afford. So obviously, you know, mortgage rates are also in fluctuation. Apparently right now there is a lot of competition between mortgage providers, and the interest rates are apparently getting lower than base rates, and so people are saying that means that it looks like there are going to be lower prices for mortgages available this year. Now, I don't know how true that is, but apparently that is true at the moment. I was speaking to a couple of mortgage advisors recently, and that was the information that they gave me. Obviously, that may be different for you. I don't know what your situation is, but what I recommend is that you get really good financial advice to help you to figure out what you can comfortably afford with your income, with your savings, with the value of your property as it is, and then use that as your budget. So set your budget first. Decide how much you're going to spend on your project first before you start doing any design work, and then design to the budget. And designing to the budget can be tricky for the similar reasons that it's tricky for builders to give you a fixed price in advance, because you start designing and it can take a year or more to get to the point where you're getting prices from a builder, because you may have to go through planning, you may want to go through other things like building control, full plan building control, and these processes, getting these approvals and just going through the design process, it can take some time. It can take easily 12 to 18 months just to go through that point to before you're ready to give plans to a builder. It can be quicker, but it can take that long or even longer. So it's worth being aware of that. And in some ways that's your benefit, because throughout the time that you're waiting, you can be doing a kind of a radical saving regime where you are putting aside more money so that you know you have more money than you need to cover your budget, but also so that, you know, if prices are going to continue going up, then alongside those prices going up, you're saving more alongside it. So you're actually going to be in a position to be able to cover an increase in prices at a later date. So it gives you that bit of ability to do that. So what I recommend, set out your comfortable budget, then design to that budget. And what I usually do is there's a couple of things. Start off with a rough price per square meter. And I always think it can be better to over-egg it and say like 2,500 per square meter, or even 3,000 per square meter for your build. And then also some kind of figure against any areas that you're going to be maybe reconfiguring. If you're making space open plan, you're moving doors, you're adding windows, you're removing walls, you're refinishing, you're putting new flooring, you're maybe putting underfloor heating, you might be refitting a kitchen. All of these things, you know, I'd still put, you know, at least 1,500 to 2,000 per square meter for those kind of reconfigured spaces as well. And this gives you a guide to start you off with. And then once you have some sketch plans, then you can then get some idea from local estate agents about what the resale value could be for those, as well as getting a cost estimator or a quantity surveyor to put some budget costs against the design ideas from an elemental basis, rather than a cost per square meter. Cost per square meter is a very finger in the air kind of way of figuring out pricing, and it's helpful at the early sketch stages. But once you start to make more detailed decisions about, you know, do we have 2 or 3 roof lights, for example? Well, each roof light might be 1,500. So do you want to spend, you know, 3,000 or 4,500 on your roof lights? Those kinds of decisions is where you start to come down to. But getting elemental costs against your design is what's going to help you to start to make those decisions in line with your budget. So start off with setting a comfortable, affordable budget, design to that budget. And all the while, all through the process of your project, look at ways that you can save more money towards it, so that you have a contingency amount in place for the potential for costs to go up throughout the process of your project, as well as the possibility of things going wrong unexpectedly on site, because that it quite often happens. So it's always good to have like a plan A and then a possible set fallback plan B. For example, if you've got your eyes set up on this beautiful kitchen, but it's quite a pricey one, then, you know, that could be the one that you want to go for, but then maybe you have a fallback option that's a lower cost that you would be willing, you know, happy to live with for, like, if it's your forever home, maybe you could live with it for 10, 15 years, and then you could replace it with a higher quality kitchen in the future when you can, you know, have that budget available to you. So that's how I recommend approaching it. And then once you've got your plans, once you've got everything detailed out, once you've got everything specified, that's when you go to your builders and get quotes. You don't go to your builders and get prices until you're able to tell them exactly what you want them to price for you. And then there's no room for you know, misunderstandings when you're on site. You can give them a full specification, a full set of plans. They know exactly what they're giving you a price for. You attach that to your contract, and then when they're doing the work, they know, well, this is what we've given a quote for, this is what we've got to deliver, and you know that you're getting what you've asked for that price. And that's how I would go about figuring out, what can you afford, what to design, and then how to get it built. What I would never, ever, ever do, and this is something I know a lot of people do this, and I really think it can really make your project costs just get away from you completely. Don't start off designing the most biggest, amazing, most fantastic design solution and then finding out that actually is way outside your budget. There's just no point in doing it that way around. Have your budget set first and then create a fantastic design that gives you everything you want that's within your budget, not busting your budget. And that's how you're going to get what you want and be able to comfortably afford it and be able to go on holiday afterwards and go to the gigs and buy the Christmas presents and do the things that you want to do in your day-to-day life without feeling stretched, without feeling like you have to deprive yourself because you overspent and you can't afford to just live the life that you want to live. Once you finish your project, you want to be able to enjoy your life. You want to enjoy your new home and you want to enjoy your life comfortably. So that's the best way to do it, is to set your budget first, design to your budget, and then have a few fallback positions, a best case, what we'd really like, but then a lower cost version if you know that you may need to, do a bit of value engineering is what we call it in the business. And whilst your project's going through the process, be saving as much as you can. Set more money aside. Make sure you've got plenty of money, because you're always going to be able to spend more money. You're always going to be able to buy a new sofa or a new TV or a new rug or a piece of artwork or whatever it is. Once your project's finished, there's always money you can spend your money on, or you can go on a really nice holiday or something afterwards. There's always ways to spend money. But if you don't have the money and you're starting to have to redesign and claw back, it's so disheartening. It's the worst feeling ever to have to cut out those beautiful thoughts and ideas that you had for your design so that you can bring it back in budget. Don't do that to yourself. Don't, because it's very frustrating and it just feels awful. Start off being confident and comfortable with what you're going to be spending your money on and how much you can spend. And then you can add in extra nice things later. That's a far more enjoyable way to take your project. I really hope this has been helpful. If you would like to get my training and the workbook, that is many people have really done this training, the Renovation Roadmap, and really found it very useful. If you'd like to get that, the link is in the description. The link is also in the chat, and you can click there, find out more. And it's only 49 quid. It's really a low cost training, and 100% of the profit from this goes to the homeless charity Coffee for Craig. So whilst you're helping yourself to improve your quality of life and get that home that you really want, you're also helping homeless people and people who are vulnerably housed to also improve their quality of life as well. Bye for now.